So I'm just going to start just putting the dyes into the palette now. These are water-based dyes. So normally I dilute some of the dyes, I don't just use them as they are in the palette. Once you go too dark with these, you can't then turn it around and go lighter, because I don't have a white, so I can't cover up anything that goes wrong. Just need my main brush that I paint with at the moment. I also have like a favourite brush, which is this one that I've sort of cut down. It's got like one hair, literally cut down to as fine as I can get it.
When we receive the order from the practitioner, the first thing we have to do is manufacture a contact lens. That process would normally take about a day, then it will take another 2 to 3 days to hand paint the lens.
So this is the one I opaqued earlier, put the black pupil on. Now I'm just going to copy this photograph. So I just kind of shade it first before I put the main colour on. I'm just going to put some flecks and things like that on there. From start to finish, you're probably looking at around about an hour from prepping it to painting it, and then sort of curing it, heating up the lens and then going back to it, and then painting it, finishing it off. Yeah, it's probably about an hour. But then all the lenses are different, so some you might paint quicker than others. Then obviously if it doesn't turn out how you want it to, you've got to start again from scratch. Mostly you're just thinking, how's it going to look when they wear the lens? Is it going to work? Is it going to match their other eye? Is the effect going to look natural enough? And obviously you don't want to go too dark or paint the lens too light. Either way it doesn't look correct, and then obviously the patient won't be happy. So now what I do is I develop what I've painted so far just to see what the colour's going to be like, because as I'm painting you don't see the colour until you've developed it. So you're predicting how the colour's going to look on the lens as you're painting it. It's not there right in front of you straight away. I think the longest learning curve in all of this is sort of using these dyes and predicting how they're going to change when you use them. You might want to emphasise any particular features that the eye has as well. Like this one has speckles sort of dotted around the iris area. Okay, for the next bit I have to sort of flatten this out onto a plate just to sort of check the edges and how it's looking on the background. Find yourself holding your breath when you're doing all the little details, just sort of stop breathing. Okay, I'm just going to develop that now, and then I'll just buzz it for a few minutes because the lens will get tired the longer it's out of water. So you are working with sort of a time frame. You can't just leave the lens out for as long as you like. You have to sort of be fairly quick. So there you can see it on the prosthetic. So now with this one, it's got to the stage where it'll probably have to go into the oven. It goes in the oven, then I just sort of tweak it a little bit, tweak the colour as to however it's changed whilst being heated at temperature. This is actually quite an unusual one to do. Not all the eyes you paint are this sort of bright green with sort of brown speckles. So every now and then you get something a little bit different. I mean, the key thing is just to blend everything and keep everything quite soft looking and quite natural looking. That's the key thing when painting them, really. So yeah, I think that's pretty much as far as I want to go with that one for now. So the next one I can do the Strabismus one now. Yeah, so what I'm doing now is painting a Strabismus lens, which is more extensive than just painting the iris, because I'm painting the scleral part as well. There's a bit more going on with this lens. So the lens has been prepared, and opaqued entirely over the whole lens from edge to edge. And then I've tinted on the iris very lightly just to see sort of where I'm supposed to be painting now. And in this case it's a fairly dark grey with a little bit of hazel in there, a little bit of green. So it's a pretty dark colour. So that blue's not going to affect it at all. I find there's an element of blue in most things that I'm painting. There's an element of blue in there. And then I'm just shading it here and just creating that illusion of there actually being layers there. You can't hang around for too long, obviously. Paint it as quick as you can because it's drying out as you're painting it. I'll paint the iris first before I do the scleral part of the lens. If anything goes wrong with the iris whilst I'm painting it, there's no point then moving on to the sclera. I have to start again. First of all, I'm going to use some pink dye and I'm going to do the veins, and then I'm going to start to create a milky sort of colour for the scleral, so it's not bright white. It's no one's sclera is completely white. If you just left it as it is, it would just stand out so much, it would just look strange, if you know what I mean. When you're doing the veins, out of all the colours, the pink really comes up the strongest when it's heated up, and it's the most invisible when you're painting with it as well, because it doesn't like to come up straight away, and then bang, it'll come right up when it's in the oven, and you think you haven't done too much, and then you take it out and think, oh my god, what's going on? We do scleral lenses as well sometimes, where it is literally just the scleral part of the eye. So their normal iris is showing through the lens, and then the outside area you're covering up. You can do just a pupil, you can do just an occlusive lens that's not painted at all, it's just black, with a black back, and that's literally just to occlude light and nothing else. So there are some things I do literally They're not really for cosmetic coverage, they're literally just for a medical condition. Yeah, I just want to emphasise those veins a little bit more, and then I think we'll have something close. It's kind of matching that, and that's going to go into the oven, then the colour will be cured, and I have to see how the colour reacts and develops before I go too far. Then I can adjust it. Yeah, so that's pretty much the process.
We supply a user guide and a reference guide for practitioners. The guide will deal with two aspects. One of those will be the information that we need for a full hand-painted lens, and the most important part of that is a very good photograph. So how that's taken using iPhones or specific cameras, whatever we receive, it needs to be high quality.